Okay, hello, welcome. This is Ryan in Cars, and I was going to talk about little SUVs and towing capacities and towing things because um, I had meant to make this video at the very beginning when I started doing YouTube, but it left my brain completely. So I had somebody in the comments ask me about my Hornet and the trailer and the hitch and show all of that one day, and I will. Not today, because it's still nasty outside and I got the trailer under cover right now. We're just, we're kind of on the cusp of spring here where I live in Canada, and we just had a string of warm weather, then a cold snap and a snow, and now we're getting a string of warm weather right now, and we're going to have a snow at the end of the week again. So I don't have to bring the trailer out for anything, so I'm not going to. But I am going to talk about when I was trying to shop for an SUV and finding something that would tow a trailer, because I thought you could put a trailer on pretty much anything. Like in the old days, 70s, 80s, even the 90s, you could put a trailer hitch on almost any car. Let me know in the comments if you actually know this too, right? Nowadays, it's hard to find. Yes, you can put that little 1 inch receiver for you to tow, to put on a little uh, bike rack thing or something like that. But that's not towing, like, that's not, no, that's not towing. So, this talk came up. I was at work, and a guy who was working there, he wanted a small SUV. This is before I bought my Hornet. But he was, his wife and him were looking for a small little SUV that she could drive to and from work. She had a Mazda 3, and the car was absolutely perfect. It ran beautifully, never broke down, cheap to run, the whole thing. It looked good, it was sporty, and like this guy kept a Mini that he would drive to and from work. That was his commute car, but he kept two Minis because he kept one to part out to keep fixing the Mini that he was driving. But he loved burning around in the little cars. So because they had such a good time with the Mazda, and like he tow things. He's a trailer guy. Um, that was the whole thing. And he thought, let's just go buy her little SUV, and then he didn't even question the towing thing. That's you know that's how much you don't know about the car industry, right? When you think for a million years this has been done, and then all of a sudden it's actually not a thing anymore, right? So they went into Mazda. They went and bought this CX-3, and they got it home, made a deal on it, got it home, and driving around, whatever it is. And it came time, he's like, you know what? I got this little trailer. I'd like to be able to tow it with that little Mazda 3. Let's go buy a hitch for that. Let's go buy a hitch for that Mazda 3 of yours, honey, right? Because just in case, I don't want to take out the big truck, because that was the other thing, is that he had this 1 ton dually Ford El Ranchero, whatever it is, right? King Ranch super truck on diesel, right? That he used that to haul his fifth wheels and his bigger trailers and things like that down the highway, because he had family down on the mainland. The light, there we go. So they go to look for a trailer hitch for this Mazda 3, and they find out that no, you're not allowed to put a trailer hitch on it. There is no towing capacity. You can put one of those bike hitch trailers on it, those little 1 inch receiver, those little square one, right? That's the only thing you can put on there. And they don't make utility trailers that fit those 1 inch receivers that are worth anything, right? That won't haul. I think, like I said in my last video there, the Jeep Renegade had a 600 pound towing capacity. I was like, what do you, yeah, I guess if you're hard up, I guess, but it's not real. That's not a real utility trailer, six to tow 600 pounds, right? At that point, you're just putting a deck on the back and filling it full of ice, a cooler full of ice, and then you're at your 600 pounds. So shopping for an SUV that you could put a trailer hitch on set the bar for the price range, because there are only certain models and certain sizes. Like, I thought I could go out and buy something like a Subaru Crosstrek. I like the look of that. It was still kind of carish, and it had a super awesome all-wheel drive thing. I'm like, it's super tiny, but if it can tow 1,500 pounds, I'm in, right? And no, doesn't do that. You can't put a trailer hitch on these things, right? On these small little SUVs, like the Hyundai Kona, the Mazda CX-3, Nissan Juke, not the Juke, but what's the Nissan Kicks, not the Trailblazer. What's smaller than the Trailblazer? I don't think they have something smaller than the Trailblazer. And I don't think there's something. Oh yeah, there was the Ford Eco. Ford Eco. Was it EcoBoost? With the tiny little SUV ugly thing from Ford there. Ford. I think it was Ford Echo. Was it Eco? Anyway, and that was, yeah, yeah. So I was hoping to spend about, tops. I was really hoping to spend around 40 grand. You know, And what I found is that if you wanted the all-wheel drive in a little SUV that would take a tow hitch for a decent sized trailer, like not a massive trailer. This mine is 5x8, but they also make like 4x6s. Even that would have been fine, because that's a decent sized utility trailer. You can put quite a bit of stuff on there. It's not a truck, so you don't have to, you know what I mean. You know what I mean. So I had to start looking for things like the CRV, the RAV4, um, the Forester, the Dodge Hornet, and I was actually not interested in any of these. Well, I didn't know about the Hornet, but I wasn't actually interested in any of these. That's so I was like, screw it. I'm gonna go look at an old Dodge dealer, or at a dealership at Dodge, and find some old Cherokee that hasn't sold in 2 years, but still sitting on the lot, right? I'll deal with the lot rot. Then I'll have my four-wheel drive, I'll have my towing capacity, and I'll have a price that I can, work with, sort of thing. So that's why I pretty much ended up at Dodge. But I went around and I looked and I drove all these little SUVs, and I was so depressed with them. And I did not want that to be the thing where I'm sitting in this car making this, humongous car payment. I'm out of my comfortable price range, first of all, to buy something decent. And so it had to be nice, and that's why when I saw this thing, I bought it. Because I did look it up beforehand. Does it will it tow? And it said, yeah, it'll tow up to 2,300 pounds or something like that. I think maybe it's 2,000 in the owner's manual, but online it says, it's 2,300 pounds. And you know what? This thing will not tow a U-Haul trailer. The smallest U-Haul trailer, like the covered one, the 4x6 or something like that. U-Haul won't rate the Hornet as to be able to tow that, because that was originally what we were going to do, is just put a U-Haul trailer on this, a covered U-Haul trailer, and take everything with us. So when we were moving, but even U-Haul said, no, it's too light duty. The tongue weight is not enough, and we can't rate it for you. We can't. You can sign the waiver, but all the insurance, everything, like it's all the onus is all on you. And if you wreck the trailer, it's all on you, right? There is no insurance, there is no nothing, right? Because we have it here in our specs that it's not allowed to tow any of these trailers, right? It would take the small little uncovered ones, which is what we did do. We did rent a bigger one. So we had to do gravel and sand and stuff like that for something, but I ended up with a Lowe's utility trailer. And the all-wheel drive systems for these cars set the bar. The towing capacities set the bar. Sorry, the towing capacity set the bar. So now I was going to be into $50,000 Canadian. This is Canadian money, because you were looking at 48,000 to whatever this Hornet was, right? It was $54,000, right? And I, I sat in the Trailblazer, and that was the cheapest one that would take a tow hitch, it was just I was not happy with it, and I was like, okay, I left the dealership going. I tried to get finance. I went to get financed on it, but I was like, I left the dealership, and I was like, I gotta sit in that thing for the next what, 5 years? I was like, I am not gonna take care of it because I'm not gonna like it, right? I'm gonna treat it like crap. I'm not gonna get any resale out of it because I know, well, I'm not gonna. You're not gonna get resale out of a Chevy Trailblazer anyway, so you're just gonna trash it. I was like, I don't do that with my cars. I don't want. So anyway, I went looking for the Cherokee that time, and I was getting the 4x4 with that would take a tow, heavy duty towing. It's more than double of what this Hornet pulls, right? But I was very fortunate to find the Hornet because it did have the power. This tiny little motor in here, it's a banshee. I had this thing in the mountains, and I had I think the trailer was overloaded. I was only doing 90, 95 kilometers an hour. But when I needed to, slam the pedal, and this thing, it would haul. It would haul. It would haul. And I'll make a video about the hitch and the trailer in probably a couple of weeks. Because after it snows, it's supposed to get warm again, and I think most of the snow will be gone because we'll be in the plus tens during that time. And I'll have the trailer out because we are going to be using it. And yeah, that's something to look forward to, which is something I actually haven't done in a video yet. Upcoming in the next episode, Ryan and Cars. Yeah, that's a good one. All right. Thanks for watching. If you've sat around here for this long, I really appreciate your I'm going to say patronage, but your viewership. Your viewership. Um, we talk about you guys all the time around at the house at the supper table. I'll say that. You're part of the family, pretty much. All right, I'll see you on the next one. Like and subscribe, and hey, share the video with somebody if you think it's cool. Thank you very much. See you in the next one.